So let's continue to listen to Bro Tony breaking down the problem, because eventually we'll bring the solution. Thank you. Listen, please. Pay attention. Pay attention. We are talking about all the changes going on right now in that Nigeria. The network is delayed. So please pay attention. Hold on, bear with us. I'm trying to pull it back up. Maybe I should have allowed it to just keep playing. Please hold on. Wait. I'm getting back to where we were. If it doesn't play, then we'll move forward. Okay, I think it's back.
One on the leg, the other on the other leg, hand, waist, neck, blindfolded. That is what that 68 item exclusivity is. Why can't we accept that this whole thing is not working? Why do we look for shortcuts to go and solve one little part and leave out the rest leave the rest? Okay, Tinubu has come now. He wants to grab the one that will favor him. Tomorrow morning, somebody else will be president. Then he will reverse everything. So the place is in constant turmoil. Why can't we, for once, speak the truth to ourselves that this whole arrangement is not going to work? In the midst of it, to tell you that God has never vacated his throne and he will never. In this same period, that same Tinubu is hopping around in France, signing off all kinds of documents without consulting anybody. France have been kicked out practically in all the places they are in West Africa. Niger kicked them out. Mali kicked them out. Burkina Faso kicked them out and all their military bases. Senegal has also shut them down. Chad is joining. So it's a sweep. They've been dislodged from the entire sub-region. And they're not in East Africa or Southern Africa. It is in West Africa they've been. From where they went to do the mischief they're doing in North Africa. Now they've been kicked out of all those places. In their desperation, Nigeria becomes the place they have to try to grab. And when we look back at this thing that came through from the courts in the US, that Tinubu is an active CIA agent, meaning that our sovereignty is now mortgaged. It is what that the West wants. All these policies of suspension of what do they call it, the withdrawal of fuel subsidy and the floating of naira. These are standard IMF World Bank prescriptions. How did Tinubu get into those policies? If Nigerians had known that he was a CIA agent, meaning that whatever they have with him or against him or on him, it is whatever they want that he will say he's their agent. How can your president, the custodian of your sovereignty, now be the agent of the very one that hijacked that tried to hijack that sovereignty with colonialism and neo-colonialism? They are the ones dictating these policies. And if France is desperate enough to have something, France will go to their own alliance, the head of the alliance, the US, to say, I have a little problem in that place where you have their man in your pocket. If there's something the US wants that France has to do, I'm sure you hear about all the altercations in NATO. I'm sure you hear all kinds of other things about if Trump comes back, what Europe may want to have to reconsider. So there are all kinds of disputations going on between them. So they're going to trade in one thing for the other. America has Nigeria under this interregnum, presidency. America can trade, can sell anything they wish, because your president is the houseboy that will only sign off wherever they ask him to sign. That's what he went to sign in France. I'm sure you saw the video, the short video where this fellow that talks all the time, or talking on behalf of the North, that will not allow France to come and set up military bases in northern Nigeria, because that is what your president is going about discussing in nocturnal meetings with them. The France that is being kicked out is now going to come to Nigeria. All your solid minerals will be in disarray. That was how DRC, that's the Congo, that was how they got to where they are. Look at all the places they've been. Look at the turmoil in those places. See what they did in Mali. See what they did in even this Niger. See what they've been doing in Burkina Faso. Look at Ivory Coast and what they've been doing there. And so it takes the military base. And so now, back to Nemesis, back to the forces of heaven that preside over that rule over the affairs of men. You heard in that clip, what's the name of that fellow? If somebody remembers it, remind me. I'll check it out as I speak. He says the North will do whatever it will take, that whatever kind of fight we have to fight to prevent France from coming to set up military bases in their place. And so that alliance of 1967 are suddenly confronted with two heavy issues that are both of existential threat nature to the senior partner in that alliance that has for now lost the steering in the government house of Asura. And so the junior partner is overthrowing them, overthrowing all of us, overthrowing. That's the state capture that has happened. Is reason they are now having to fight among themselves. It is not by accident that it is at this time that fight will arise. If the North will allow Tinubu to set up French military bases in their place, they can forget that society across the next 50 years. That is, it will go up in smoke from where they will now expand rapidly into the south in search of the other things that are only the south, the oil. Yes, the man's name is Professor Usman Yusuf. His analysis on that very point is factual. And so, how does it relate to our project? We have an opportunity to insist on a comprehensive reconstruction of the constitutional architecture of Nigeria, starting with the negotiation for whether we want to be in union in the face of the defeat and the ongoing decommissioning of the 1999 constitution. Somebody may say, oh, the government is still carrying on. They can deceive themselves as much as they like, but if themselves, why is it the talk of constitution that is all over the place? And if everybody now agrees that that constitution is the source of all the miseries of Nigeria and the woes of Nigeria itself, if everybody now realizes that that constitution must be taken down for any progress to be made, you had Adeye saying it in Senate and all kinds of other people that are now, reinforcing it in the public space. Before you begin to solve the problem, if you have something that can be used to solve the problem sooner than later. Luckily, those who are suffering from hunger, you saw it on the front page of Tribune the other day, those who are suffering from hunger are now pointing at restructuring as waters to save them from hunger. It wasn't so before. And so there is also that concept that there's that urgency that has been placed on the situation because of the hunger and the collapse of the current the economy and the currency. All kinds of things that have now made it so very urgent, an emergency that can no longer be postponed in terms of that restructuring. Will anybody want to be the case for going to another election before we come to, because whoever wins at that next election will still have to govern by this constitution that guarantee all the atrocities, that guarantee the misery, that guarantee the killings, that guarantee the impoverishment of the scale that has never been seen, that guarantees the corruption we see, that guarantees immunity for the impunity we see. It is the immunity that creates impunity. Remove the immunity and you see the death of impunity. But that constitution, provides a blanket cover for those, the principal beneficiaries of the humongous corruption that the constitution mandates. Because when the constitution gives the spare key of the treasury to the heads of the executive branch, it is mandating corruption by the appropriation provisions.
Yes.
When the constitution declares that the benefits of the citizen in the social contract is discretionary to those in government house to perform or not to perform, section 6, section 6C. It is providing an avenue for corruption because they don't owe you any obligation.
Exactly.
The government does not owe you any obligation for all this trillion you hear about. There's no part of it that is meant for you. Rather, you will see how they are sharing it every month. Now that they are going for Christmas, I won't be surprised if this $2.5 billion they borrowed the other time is to cover their Christmas expenses.
Yes, we'll take another break. I was trying to pull up what our brother Waris Jinadu. Sorry if I destroyed your name, but because we say drop your comments. We say this show, whether you're on YouTube or on Facebook, drop your comment, drop your questions. If we don't get to you in the show, we'll get to you eventually. So they know what they're doing. And brother Waris said, Shetima said restructure Nigeria my foot before assuming VP presidency tickets. Of course, they know what they're doing. So that's why we keep telling our people that it is not the politicians that will solve this problem for you. You voting them in, going for election, going to vote 1 cent, the cent that is a virgin, but is in the labor room, about to give birth, it is not going to solve the problem. You, the people, you, the indigenous people, we work together with other indigenous people. Together, we take back our power. Under Nina's, every step is broken down. This is what you need to do. This is how you need to do it. Because we know that if you do it a wrong way, the system will come for you. The system has been put in place to keep you down, to distract you and not make you know that they're the ones keeping you down. Then you keep fighting your mother, your in-law, your neighbor, your elderly people. And then when you now know that they're the ones holding you, and you start like, gra, I want to fight, they will come for you. That is why we said on this platform, we will give you the truth. We will guide you on how to work with the truth because we understand the danger. We know what is at stake. The strong man does not want you to be free. The existence of the strong man depends on your ignorance and even your death. So that's why it's important for you to be guided. It's not emotion. Oh, I'm so angry. I lament. Yes, I will slap somebody. I will kick somebody. I will do. No. If you do that, you're playing in their terrain. That's what they want you to do. They want you to be emotional. They want you to come charging at them so that they will use the weapons of mass destruction, which they've already built, to destroy you. Somebody wanted you to be destroyed before. You gave the opportunity to destroy you. Are you not making the work easier for them? That's why we said there's a process. You must follow. You must understand. It's step by step. You will be guided. Yes, we can do it. But we must pay attention. Attention to understand. That's why we come here and break it down for our people. Going for election, general election, allowing the election to even hold is against your prosperity, is against your freedom, is against your liberation. Because we have a work. We have something that needs to be done first, which is bringing down the colonial system. So it's not about your uncle, it's not about your brother, it's not about your mother, it's not about your sister, it's not about your aunt. It's about our collective interests, our collective existence. That's what it's all about. So we're going to work together to bring down the colonial system before we now start thinking of who is going to lead us. Because if you're in slave camp, your first need will be to leave this plantation, to leave the slave camp, to end the slavery, not choosing who is the head slave or who is the monitor prefect, who is the one that will dining hall prefect, or who is social prefect inside the slave camp. That's not how it's done. Freedom first. Freedom first. Bring down the apartheid constitution. Bring down the cage. Bring down the thing that has tied us for over 1,500 years. Bring it down first, collectively, because we are all victims in the hands of these evildoers.